الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الغر الميامين المنتجبين. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الذي خلقكم من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم من علقة ثم يخرجكم طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم ثم لتكونوا شيوخا. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل Muhammad. Once again, we thank Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the opportunity in this holy month of Ramadan to continue to acquire the understanding of our faith and to try to seek perfection. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to accept us as His true slaves and servants and make it easy for each and every one of us. Ilahi Amin. The verse I've just quoted from glorious Quran is Quran 40 verse 67. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in this ayah says, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن تُرَابٍ. He is the one who created you from the clay. ثُمَّ مِن نُطْفَةٍ. Then from the liquid, from the semen. ثُمَّ مِنْ عَلَقَةٍ. Then from the clot. ثُمَّ يُخْرِجُكُمْ طِفْلًا. Then He removed you as child or children. ثُمَّ لِتَبْلُغُوا أَشُدَّكُمْ. Then you reach your strength, meaning youth. ثُمَّ لِتَبْلُغُوا ثُمَّ لِتَكُونُوا شُيُوخًا. Then you become old people. Now, departing from this beautiful ayah, my topic of discussion is to look at the three stages of our life. The first stage is a stage of childhood. The second, the stage of youth. And the last stage is the stage of an old or elderly person, or what our communities refer to as senior citizens. First stage of the examination is to look at the importance of this stage and how best we nurture this stage to help us get the best of youth, and then of course at the end get the best elders and the best senior citizens. The first stage is no doubt a route and a cause for the second stage, and second stage is a route and a cause for the last stage. If a child is given a proper upbringing, he will then end up becoming a good youth. And if youth is provided with the best opportunity, he will end up becoming a graceful or an excellent senior citizen. Now, the first stage is a very sensitive stage. That stage of being a child. And you know, Islam discusses this stage in length and in details. Suffice to say, to make a child a good child, there must be a proper upbringing, isn't it? And scholars mentioned upbringing is 50% before birth and 50% after birth. In other words, if you are determined to make your child a good child, then you have to start way back before the child came to this world, or before the child comes to this world. In other words, upbringing begins the moment you decide or you begin thinking of getting married. That's very, very important. Now, how does this take shape when it comes to upbringing 50% before birth. Not to take long into that because that's not my focus of tonight. As the person you get married with, whether husband or wife, and Islam emphasizes on the importance of the one you get married with. Someone with value will bring that value on board. That's why it is said it's 50% before birth. You want the person that tomorrow you are able to look at and say, this is the mother of my children, or this is the father of my children. The person that you are proud of. Hence the Holy Prophet of Islam outlined mechanisms on choosing spouses, choosing husbands, choosing wives. If you do it the right way, then halfway towards upbringing of your children is achieved. The second 50%, as you know very well, is when the child arrives in this world. You know, I was reading a book, one scholar mentioned, a child has 3 worlds. First world is the loins of the father, second world is the womb of the mother, and the third world is this world. Father, what you eat, make sure it is lawful. But it's not just lawful, it is also good. Halal and tayyibah. That is what makes the child. Then when it comes to the womb of the mother also has to make sure she eats what the Quran refers to, halal and tayyibah. And then when the child arrives, then the upbringing begins. When it comes to upbringing also, it's very, very important, because remember, if we are able to take good care of our children, they will end up becoming good youth. If we invest our times in our children, those children will grow having the values of Allah and the values of Ahlelbayt alayhim salam. What I and you do is that we invest our times in dunya. I'm not saying we should invest in dunya. It's crucial, we need dunya. Without it, we can't move. But we invest our times, our energies in dunya at the expense of upbringing our children. Now, when they become youth, it becomes very, very difficult to channel it properly. They said, you break a metal when it is hot. You don't break it when it is already cold. Likewise, when a child is brought up within a conducive atmosphere, the chances of the child going out of the way is very, very slim. And so therefore, fathers and mothers, as we go about our ibadah in this holy month of Ramadan, remember, one of the greatest form of ibadah is upbringing of our children, instilling the true love of Allah, Muhammad, and Ali Muhammad. How do we go about it? Simple steps. Then we'll move to the second stage of my examination. You go about it, number one, by instilling in your children the love of values before instilling in them the love of profession. I mentioned this before. What we do as parents, we instill in our children the love of profession before we begin instilling in them the love of values. I'm saving for you for your university. I'm saving for you to become a doctor. Good, excellent, we must do it. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. But before that, in advance, you should instill in that child Quran. Talk about Ahlelbayt in the house. It's a very simple lecture, but it goes a long way. Talk about Islam in the house. Pray together as families sometimes. Read Quran together as families. Don't rely only on madrasa. Let them go to madrasa. Make home also another madrasa. You as parents, go out of your way. Learn and study about Islam, so that you are able to impart that knowledge in your children in complementing the efforts of our madrasa and the teachers of our madrasa. Because people often complain about madrasa, complain about the teachers of madrasa, when they do literally nothing about imparting Islamic knowledge and values in their children. So therefore, instill those values in the house. Let the house become a house of Quran, house of Ahlelbayt. Number 2, you need to upbring your children in an indirect way, my dear brother and my dear sister. What is upbringing them in an indirect way? Is for them to see in you what you are asking them to do. If you want them to pray, let them see you praying as father, as mother. If you don't want them to listen to music, they should not see you listening to music. If you don't want them to backbite, they should not hear you gossiping and backbiting others while in the house or at dining. We have to do this upbringing in an indirect way. You watching unlawful movies, your children will grow watching more than that, because that is the environment you're bringing them up. And as they said, charity begins at home. The children given to us are gifts of Allah to us. They are amanat of Allah. Rasulullah makes it very clear, kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyati. You are all like shepherds, and each and every one of you will be questioned of the flocks given to him to take care of by Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. So therefore, upbringing of our children is crucial, because the first stage of our lives is a very sensitive first stage. It feeds the second stage. And this brings me to the second stage, the stage of youth. Crucial stage. This is where one is able to achieve most of the things is set to be achieved in life. It's a stage, if one does not make the best out of it, you stand to lose a lot in your life. Youth stage is a very, very important stage. And hence, you know the definition of youth, or definitions, biological and psychological. Biological, they said from 13 years up to 35 or 40. But psychological, no. A youth is someone who is productive and creative. I mentioned this many times in my lectures. Youth is productive and youth is creative. In other words, you cannot afford to be youth when you are not productive and creative. Productive to yourself, productive to people around you, productive to your community, productive to your country. You cannot afford not to be productive as youth, and in addition to that, not to be creative. That's what youthfulness is all about, my dear brother and my dear sister. We cannot afford to waste this stage. This is the stage that you will be able to achieve maximum spirituality, to achieve maximum social success, to achieve maximum financial success. Know your values, my dear youth. Know your qadr. If you know your values, you will achieve more. What are the characteristics of youthfulness? Number one is from the definition. A youth is productive and creative. Number two, sur'atul infial. Youth is quick in reacting. It's not bad, it's something good if it's channeled properly. Youth want it now. He or she doesn't want it tomorrow. So our elders also should understand this is a feature of a youth. When you see youth reacting to something within our communities, don't take it bad. That is their feature, And if you can understand, you should be able to help them to channel that energy properly. They've got unbelievable energy. The third feature of our youth is what? They want change. They don't want a routine. It's a feature of a youth. So you, as senior citizen of our communities, when our youth come to you and they complain about particular program, don't get upset. Give them audience. Give them hearing. Giving them audience and hearing doesn't mean that you are accepting and believing in everything that they are saying. But it instills that honor and respect in them when you give them hearing and unconditional attention. Hear them out. Because one of their features is that they want change, metamorphosis. They don't want one routine program. You've been doing this program same for many years. Why don't you change? We are millennials. We need different thing altogether. It is the feature of a youth. We cannot take it away from them, my elders. Having said that, youth have challenges. And they will need themselves and the communities or elders or their parents or seniors to help them overcome these challenges. Some of them may not even realize that these challenges are challenges. The first one is what? Most of the youths think that they are independent. Al-istiqlal. I know it all. I've been to university. You've never been to any university. I have bachelor's. You have not even completed primary. You are senior. I've seen it all. I live in this global village. I said, no, you'd pause a little bit. It's true. You're strong. But that's not the end of the world. So I found it's a challenge. It has to be channeled properly. The sense of independence. What can an elderly person tell me? That's the first challenge. Second challenge of a youth is what? Some youth are easily influenced by their peers. Peer group pressure. My friend is doing this way, I'm going to do it that way. My friend is chilling this way, I'm going to chill this way. My friend is wearing this particular dress, I'm going to wear it that way. It's a challenge. If it is not properly channeled and mentored, it will take the person somewhere else. By the time you realize, it's finished. How does a person begin smoking? It's by hanging around with a friend. A friend smoking, and then one day one will say, let me try and see. Through trial, a person will end up smoking, isn't it? So it's a challenge for our youth. Third challenge of our youth is what? Management of their desires. So important. They come of age. They've got challenges. This challenge need to be attended to, need to be addressed. The simplest way to address it what? Is to discuss with them. Discuss with your daughters. Discuss with your sons. Instill that value in them. Our communities have programs separately to discuss some of the challenges of the youth. And the other challenge of the youth is what? Waste of time. I'm not saying all youth, but that's what experience shows. What do I mean by waste of time? Using gadgets. Of course, there are seniors who also waste their time on that. And waste their time with baraza, gossiping, and talking ill of others. I'm not saying every baraza is like that. But some barazas are like that. Our youth, because they are what? Living in smart world. Throughout the night. On Instagram, on Twitter, on Skype, on Facebook, you find the productivity is less. So that really needs to be channeled properly. Having said that, a youth occupies prominent estates within the religion of Islam. Where would this religion have been without the contributions of the youth? You look at Quran. Nuh alayhi salam. Those people who did not believe in him, what would they say? Said, we've seen around you nothing but youths, youngsters. Most of those who believed in Prophet Nuh were young. They're young. Our own beloved Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned, إن الله بعثني بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا فحالفني الشباب وخالفني الشيوخ. So Allah sent me with this message to be a warner and a carrier of good news. The youth accepted me and the older generation rejected me. So youth, you are so important when it comes to the growth of our communities, when it comes to the growth of Islam, when it comes to the growth of our country, when it comes to the growth of your family, when it comes to your own personal growth. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam was the first man to accept and believe in Rasulullah. How old was Imam? Imam was very young, he was youth. Imam al-Hasan and Hussein, Sayyida Shababi Ahl al-Jannah, isn't it? Look at Karbala, youth. Majority of the companions of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. So therefore, youth, you've got the power to bring about positive change. Know your values. And this is the time. If you don't do it now, when you pass this stage, you will regret. Take care of your spirituality at this stage. The Holy Prophet makes it very clear that on the day of Qiyamah, there are groups of people who will be provided with the shade of Allah when there will be no shade of buildings there. One of the group, he said what? Shabun nasha'a fi ibadati rabbih. A youth who nature the love of Allah in him, who grows loving Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. What's loving Allah? I'm not saying stand up, make namaz sharp. If you do that, that's bonus. But strive to follow and obey the teachings of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shabun nasha'a fi ibadati rabbih. You'll be provided with the shade on the day of Qiyamah. Suffice to say, our beloved Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he sent Osama, who was very young, to go and defend Islam. And look at Ashab Kahf. Innahum fityatun amanu bi rabbihim wa zidnahum huda. They were youths who believe in their Lord, and we increase them in guidance. Our communities need our youth. There is disintegration within some of our communities between the youth and the elders, and between the youth and our communities. My dear youth, you have no better home to be proud of than your communities. My dear members of the communities, the elders, the leaders, the senior citizens, we need to find ways and means of connecting with our youth and bringing things that are relatable. We need them because they will be the future leaders. A youth, don't let the challenges you faced stop you from showing your beauty by helping out to develop and grow our communities. That's the power you have. If you do it well, you will age gracefully. You will age gracefully. Look at our communities. Those Murabbis and elders who were very vibrant in their support or community service while they were young. Look at their lives today. Blessed. Everybody chants their praises. It has to begin now and not tomorrow. Last stage of the examination, then I'll provide some solutions. It's the stage of being an elderly person, senior citizen. This stage is the stage of a barakah. Rasulullah makes it very clear. Inna min ijlalillah ijlali dhi shaybatil muslim. He said one of the way or sign of honoring Allah is to honor an elderly Muslim, is to respect him, is to honor him, is to cherish him. And Amir al-Mu'mineen makes it very clear. He said one unique thing about an elderly person is his experience and opinions. My dear seniors and elders of our communities, know your values. You've got experiences. Share those experiences with the young ones. Your experiences and opinions are needed to grow and develop our communities. Know your values. Around Prophet alayhi salam, there were companions like Abu Ayyub al-Ansari were old, Abu Dharr al-Ghifari. And when you look at the companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, they were senior citizens, up until coming to the companions of Abu Abdullah, Habib ibn Mawahir, Muslim ibn Awsaja. These were all senior citizens to tell us that you need young and old to bring about development within our communities. It cannot be either my way or the highway. Know your values. Now, in conclusion, what do we do to ensure that we channel the way? It's very simple and straightforward. Practical steps which I shared before is that we need to understand each other's generation. Youth understand the mindsets and the thinking of the seniors and the features of their time. Seniors understand the mindsets and the thinking and the features of the youths. Once these understandings are there, we'll then be able to move forward with the following. Number one, there must be hiwar, dialogue. From time to time within our communities, seniors and youths should sit together, dialogue, informal, to bridge gaps, to do away with some of the disintegrations we have within our communities. Dialogue is very important. Number two, be patient with one another. Youth, be patient. Things will not happen overnight, but it will happen. Seniors, leaders, be patient. Don't be autocratic. Don't be selfish. Be patient with the youths. The fact that they are coming to you with their energy shows that they want to serve, they want to help. And last but not least, respect and love each other. And pray to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to help us together grow our community. And I ask Allah to assist all of us. And I leave you with these mu'minin and mu'minat. Let us emulate the footsteps of Ahlelbayt alayhim as-salam. Ahlelbayt are the young children around them, are the youths and old people. And together we can then prepare the grounds for the reappearance of our Imam. We pray to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to accept our humble efforts and to accept our fast. And we ask Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to forgive our shortcomings and make it easier for all of us to witness the last days and the nights of the holy month of Ramadan. Our marhumin, may Allah forgive them and grant them Jannatul Firdaus. Those who are ill, either with corona or any other sickness, we ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to cure them with His cure and makes it easy for them. And may Allah protect all of us and protect the entire world and intervene on behalf of the people of the world. هذا بالله توفيق وصلى اللهم على محمد وآله الطيبين